Hi, it's me, Lil. Thanks as always for tuning in. Today we're going to go stage left with Lil, and I'll tell you about Titanic and Fallen Angels on Broadway. We'll also do little Lil's lights, camera, action, and I'll tell you about the flicks I've seen recently. So, Titanic is a takeoff of everybody's favorite James Cameron movie from the 1990s. It's a hilarious comedic spoof that imagines the movie and hence the true story as if Celine Dion had actually been on the Titanic. Marla Mindell is one of the creators of the show, and she plays Celine Dion, and she is hilarious with her impressions. She has Celine down pat. I saw the show first off Broadway in 2022, but that was kind of during my narcolepsy years, so I'm pretty sure I probably slept through a good portion of it, even though it's only like an hour and 40 minutes. But this time I was awake for the whole thing, and I'm glad I was. The show is so funny. You have not just Celine, but all the other characters from the movie. Unsinkable Molly Brown, who's played by Deborah Cox, who is in amazing vocal condition and just sings her butt off. And we probably needed more Deborah Cox in the show. We also have Rose and her overbearing mother and her nasty fiance, and then of course Jack, the artist boy that she falls in love with. What I love about the show is that it's so topical and of the moment. Like they had jokes in there from things that happened just like last week. So it seems like they're always refreshing the show and keeping it up to date. It's just a laugh out loud, good time. If you want to have a good time on Broadway, check it out. I think it's the second best time you can have on Broadway after Jellicle Ball. If you're a Celine Dion fan, like I am, it's a must see. It has all Celine's hits in it. So the music is amazing. You're never bored. You're toe tapping the whole way through. You also won't want to miss a show stopping drag performance from Leighton Williams as the Iceberg. Super fun. Go see it. It gets a Lil's letter grade of a B plus. Next up, we have another very funny show, Fallen Angels, which is a revival of the Noel Coward play from the 1920s. It's about two women, Jane and Julia, played by Kelly O'Hara and Rose Byrne, who I love from If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. They're best buddies who spend a wild night contemplating reuniting with the debonair Frenchman they both had a fling with before they were married. As you can imagine, the show caused quite a scandal back in its day because of the talk of premarital sex and adultery. But of course, none of those things faze us nowadays. What makes this show so special is the performances from Kelly and Rose, who, as the night goes on and they wait for their lover to arrive, they get progressively more and more drunk. These actresses are so adept at handling that kind of acting, which can sometimes be tricky to do. Ray said it was the best drunk acting he's ever seen, and I agree. They are so amazing with the physical comedy of it too. It kind of took me back to the days of Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy, just like so farcical and fun. They're both nominated for Tonys, but I really wish they could share one because they both played off each other so well, and one wasn't better than the other, but they really fueled each other to a great performances. I actually really wanted to see it because Mark Consuelos is in it as the Frenchman, but he's only in it for like the last 20 minutes. He kind of brings the mood down with his bad French accent. Overall, though, it's another good time on Broadway. It runs until June 19th, so check it out. It gets a Lil's letter grade of an A. Moving on to Lights, Camera, Action. Let's start with The Devil Wears Prada 2, which when they first announced they were doing this sequel to the beloved movie, I had my doubts and wondered why, like many of us. And then I saw it, and I'm still wondering why, because it was not well done at all. It was basically A lot of the same plot outline from the first movie. There's a lot of unusual character choices made and plot devices that didn't really work. There's so much product placement that was really distracting. They were solid actors like Lucy Liu and Justin Theroux who were just wasted on poorly written parts. Sad to say, Meryl felt a little bit like she was doing somebody doing the part as an imitation of someone doing Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestley. This, like Beetlejuice, is another addition to the list of bad and probably unnecessary sequels we've had recently. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for the Spaceball sequel. Based on this movie, I'll keep my expectations low. It gets a little letter grade of a C. Next up, we have Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic, where Michael was played by his actual nephew, Jafar Jackson, who did a commendable job in the role. Those are really big shoes to fill, a big glove to fill. And at certain points in the movie, you look at the screen and he looks just like his uncle. It's uncanny. The story follows Michael's risings in the music industry, starting with the work he did with his family in the Jackson Five, and then leads us to how he started his own successful solo career. The best part about the movie is the scenes that are basically performances from different concerts that Michael did. Those are just really fun to watch. And as we know, we all love the music, so it's a good time. What's odd is that Janet wasn't in the movie at all. Like Latoya and all the other Jacksons are in it, but it's almost as if Janet never existed, which is strange. The movie ends at the height of his career and hints at a part two, which I'll be very curious to see how that's handled because, as we know, the latter half of Michael's life was riddled with lawsuits and allegations. So it'll be interesting to see how the movie handles that, especially because it's produced by the Jackson family. This is a good one to watch streaming. I give it a Lil's letter grade of a B minus. The next two movies are family flicks you can see with the young people in your lives versus Masters of the Universe, based off of the Mattel superhero action figure He-Man and the related cartoon series. Pretty much went to see this one out of nostalgia because I was definitely a big He-Man She-Ra fan when I was young. They first attempted to make a movie out of these characters back in the 80s, but it was a box office bomb and critically panned. But now, as it sometimes happens, it's kind of a cult classic that had Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, and he does make a cameo in this new movie. But our 21st century He-Man is played by Nicholas Galanzine, who actually does a really good job playing a unlikely, reluctant hero, kind of stumbling and fumbling his way through things, trying to figure out how to be this powerful hero that everybody wants him to be. The movie is full of a lot of irreverent humor and it's very like tongue in cheek. It definitely gives vibes of Thor Ragnarok. So if you enjoyed that, you'll probably enjoy this. I give it a Lil's letter grade of a B minus. I also had the pleasure of seeing The Sheep Detectives, starring Hugh Jackman. Now, when I first heard about this, I was like, oh no, what's going on? Hugh's agent is slipping. Now he's working with sheep. This is the end of his career. But then I heard lots of positive things about the movie, and it was quite enjoyable. It's about a flock of sheep whose shepherd, played by Hugh, gets murdered, and the sheep set out to solve the mystery. So not only is it an actual intriguing murder mystery, it's also a good tale about dealing with grief and also learning acceptance. We have some great supporting performances from Nicholas Braun as the local town sheriff trying to solve the case, and Emma Thompson as a lawyer who's intentions were unsure of. It was just a really sweet movie, probably the best farm animal movie I've seen since Babe. I give it a Lil's letter grade of an A. Now we're going to talk about a horror flick called Backrooms, which is brought to us by a new filmmaker who started his career as a YouTuber and actually made a YouTube series based on this photo that was posted on 4chan that people commented on because it was so creepy. It was just a shot, a kind of crooked shot of what looked like an abandoned, dingy yellow walls and dingy camel colored carpet. Some people took that photo and started making creepypasta stories about it. Creepypasta, if you don't know, is scary stories shared over the internet. There's a really good anthology series that takes creepypastas and makes them into a season of television. It was called Channel Zero. Each season, there's only 3, was a different story. It's worth checking out. Back to Backrooms, though. The movie stars Ejiofor as a down on his luck man who's estranged from his partner, who's kicked him out of the house, probably because of his alcoholism, and he's been regulated to sleep in one of the beds in the furniture warehouse store that he owns. He's seeking therapy from a psychologist played by Renata Rensve of Sentimental Value fame, and trying to figure out how to get his life back in order. As he's doing this, he discovers, let's call it, another dimension that he's led through a portal in the wall of the furniture store. It takes him to this other world full of cavernous rooms connected by long, dark hallways. There's piles of random laundry in some of the rooms. Some of the rooms have piles of furniture. Sometimes the furniture is sunken into the floor. You also have rooms that have little Alice in Wonderland-like doors that take you to another room, stairways into the ceiling, like an Escher painting. It's all very just creepy and macabre and unsettling because you don't know where it starts and where it ends, if he'll be able to get back out to reality. The production design of the movie is really well done. They do an excellent job creating this eerie space. I don't want to give too much away, but this one is definitely worth streaming if you're looking for an unusual watch with some twist. I give it a Lil's letter grade of a B. That's it for today. Come back next time for more Life with Lil.